Hi, wonderful people. This is Karin's Motivation, and I am Karin. You're welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're tuning in for the first time, girl, please don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Meanwhile, if you've already done so, thank you so much. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also leave your comment in the comment section. Share your thoughts, your experiences, what you think. I will be so pleased to read from you. Meanwhile, people, today I'll be talking to you about those common mistakes parents make raising their teenagers. You see, as parents, we're doing everything we can to make sure our children become successful adults in the future. We just want to see them being responsible adults in the future, which is wonderful. And I always say this: mistakes are good sometimes. No one is perfect. So along the line, as parents, we all make mistakes and we learn from them. There is something about the lesson you learn from your mistakes. These lessons become permanent. You will not forget this lesson in a hurry. So that is what I love about making mistakes. Don't be scared to make mistakes because you're going to learn wonderfully from them. So guys, today I'll be talking about those few mistakes parents make raising their teenagers. It's not a mistake they make willingly. Some of us parents will make this mistake out of ignorance, make these mistakes without knowing, we're trying to protect our kids the much we can. You see, that's why we end up making some of these mistakes. And I believe just knowing that you made this mistake, you can always, learn from it and do better. So the first mistakes that parents make raising their teenagers is ignoring their opinions. Now, you remember in my other video, I made make mention of the fact that as your child become a teenager, you have to change strategies. You have to change gears. You don't have to use the same strategies you used when they were babies. That is the case here. So the common mistake parents make is when their child becomes teenagers, they don't change strategies. That is why most parents end up ignoring the opinions of their teenagers. You see, you always remain a parent no matter what. But at the end of the day, please don't ignore their opinions, especially on matters that concerns them. Call them and ask about their thought about that particular situation. It may be a university you love them to attend. They are the ones going to that university. So I think it will be more reasonable to call them and find out from them. What do you think? Do you have any option? Is there a particular university, for example, you would love to go to and things like that? Let them share their experience with you. Making them to share their experience doesn't make you less of a parent, or seeking their opinions doesn't make you less of a parent. You're only just giving them that opportunity to explore, their creative minds and things like that, which is very good, especially when you're trying to make them become successful, and independent adults. So please, parents, always look for means or try, to seek the opinions of your teenagers before you carry on certain decisions. It's not always the case that if you seek their opinions, you're going to take them. But just make them to feel important, by seeking their opinions on certain things. Now, the second mistake that parents make raising a teenager is privacy. Learn to give those teenagers their privacy. Everyone loves their privacy. The same thing goes when they were babies. You normally did not, respect their privacy. You just bash into their rooms, without even knocking. But as soon as they become adolescent, please just give them that little respect. Just respect their privacy. Learn to always knock, on the door before you actually walk in. But most parents don't do that. I know as parents, you always want to feel parents, and but it doesn't make you less of a parent if you can just simply knock, on the door and ask them if you should come in or not. Maybe you've got something to deliver to them. Maybe it's their laundry you've come to give them. Good and fine. You can always leave it outside the door. And notwithstanding, it's not like you do that all the time. You can barge in without knocking or without announcing when you feel that there is danger or something. But apart from that, it's always good to give them that personal space, let them enjoy their privacy and things like that. Everyone loves their privacy. And I also I can remember when I used to be a teenager, I always loved my privacy. Like someone just barging on me like that was a bit, disrespectful. Now, the third common mistakes that us parents make raising our children is putting fear in them. You see, fear is something that can go a long way into destroying a child, especially a young child. I know as parents, we're trying everything possible to shield our children from all the terrible things that is happening in our society today. But please, let's not do that by putting fear in them. You see, fear can lead to anxiety, it can lead to panic attacks, and many other things. You see, when you bring up a child in a fearful way, you're making that child not to understand between danger and what is not danger. They'll find it difficult to differentiate between dangers and what is not danger. So instead of putting fear in your child, instead teach them to be brave. Teach them to be brave. Teach them to be able to handle situations with courage and not fear. I'll tell you a small story about myself. I grew up being very fearful because of my parents, especially my mom. The fact that she gave birth to just my brother and I, she was so fearful about the terrible things that was happening in our society. So she was trying to protect us. She overprotected us by putting fear in us without knowing. So what happened was there was this time when people visited us and gave us, money as present. My mom would tell you after they've left that go and throw away that money. Simply because she was so fearful. And because of that, we tend to start looking at people with a lot of fear. I personally, I became so fearful, about people. I'm scared, they're going to kill me, they're going to do this, which is not very good because it's affecting me up to today. There are some little things that I'm not even supposed to be fearful about, but I tend to be so fearful about those things because I grew up in that, very fearful environment. So please, parents, we really need to try as much as possible not to put fear in our children, not to bring them up in fear. Rather, we should teach them to be brave and to handle situations with bravery and confidently. Another common mistake parents make raising their children or their teenagers is trying to live through them. By living through them, I mean wanting them to achieve everything we ever wanted but did not have. For example, maybe as a parent, you wanted to become a doctor or a lawyer, but ended up not becoming a doctor nor a lawyer. And right now you want your child or your teenager to become a doctor or a lawyer regardless. You see, that should not be the case. So at the end of the day, you are a parent and your kids are your kids. You cannot make them to become what they don't want to become. Give them that opportunity to explore, the various options and finally go for what they've got passion for. We have many people in the world today who are doing what they did not actually want to do. There are some doctors who are being doctors not because they wanted to be doctors, but because their parents pushed them into becoming a doctor. And right now they're doing their job without passion. So please, as parents, we really need to try as hard as we can not to want to live through our children, not to, force our children to achieve our dreams. The other common mistakes us parents will make raising our children, especially teenagers, is we shy away from discussing sex and relationship with them. You see, as parents, we should be courageous enough to discuss sexuality and relationship with our teenagers, with our kids. If they are not yet teenagers, make them to differentiate between a boy and a girl. And before they even become a teenager, let them know what is menstruation. What does it mean for a woman to menstruate? I think it is best for your child to even know about menstruation, for the girl child, before they even start menstruating. Telling them about menstruation when they've already started menstruating, for me, I would say it's late. So as parents, feel free to discuss sex and relationship with your teenagers, before they ever get to know about it from the outside world. Because at the end of the day, they're going to know about it anyways, but it's best for them to be told by you before they ever get to know about it. So as parents, don't be shy to discuss, relationship, sex with your teenagers. Tell them about it. Tell them the right time maybe they're supposed to have sex, the advantages, Let your child know where babies come from. They should not go and get the answers from outside. Because at the end of the day, someone somewhere is going to let them know about it. But as a parent, it's our duty to teach and to educate our kids about sexuality and every other thing surrounding it. The other common mistakes as us parents will make raising our children is ignoring common mistakes. You see, some parents tend to ignore the little mistakes their children make. You see, mistakes are meant to be corrected. If you ignore those little mistakes, even when they won't learn from it, and they will go around doing the same mistake over and over again. And before you know it, it will be so hard for them to learn or to correct their mistake, or for even you to correct them when they make mistakes. When a child make a mistake, call their attention to it. Tell them, this is a mistake you've made. Don't make it next time, so that they can learn their lessons from it. But some parents at times, do that because deep in their mind, they can't believe their child did that. So they tend to ignore it. Please, as parents, we need to correct our children when they make mistakes. Don't ignore those mistakes, because the more you ignore those mistakes, the more they don't learn anything from them. They keep on doing it. And before you know it, the mistakes are all over the place. So please, let's learn to correct them when they make simple mistakes, because mistakes are meant to be corrected so that they can learn from it. So guys, that was it about the common mistakes that parents make. I want to appreciate all the wonderful parents out there who are doing a great job to ensure that their kids become responsible and successful. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please do well to hit that red subscribe button, and also please share this video, like, and give it a thumbs up. Share so that others can learn, parents can learn, and also adjust from their mistakes. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Don't go anywhere.